The Gentle Mask, a Stoic warning about hidden predators. There's a small town in southern Italy where an old widow lived a quiet life. One day, a man appeared. He was well-dressed, spoke kindly, and began helping her with errands, fixing the lights, trimming the garden, walking her to church on Sundays. The neighbors admired him. What a good man. They said, "She's lucky." For 2 years, he earned everyone's trust. Then, one morning, he disappeared with every penny she had saved in her life. No one saw it coming. But that man had done the same thing in 3 other towns before. Now, I'm not telling this story to scare you. I'm telling it because it reveals a hard truth. The most dangerous people don't come at you with fists or knives. They come with kindness, with soft words, and with eyes that seem to understand you. That's what makes them dangerous. We live in a time when appearances rule. Social media rewards charm, not character. And in this world, there are people who have learned to fake goodness so well, you won't know what hit you until the damage is already done. As a longtime student of Stoic philosophy, I believe the greatest defense we have is not fear, but awareness. The Stoics never told us to live in suspicion, but they did urge us to see clearly, to sharpen the lens through which we observe others and ourselves. In this video, I want to help you recognize 5 red flags, not just to avoid pain, but to protect the most sacred thing you possess, your inner peace. These traits don't belong to just bad people. They often show up in those who seem perfect, too charming, too giving, too tailored to what you've always longed for. If you've ever had that gut feeling that something about someone just doesn't sit right, even when they're saying all the right things, then this is a message you need to hear. If you've ever been in a relationship that made you feel like you were shrinking, doubting your own memory, or constantly apologizing for things you didn't even do, this might help you understand what's really going on. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The wise man sees things as they are not, as he wishes they were." That's our job here today. And if you're someone who values quiet strength, honest reflection, and mental clarity, this channel, The Silent Thinker, is for you. Go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss the next parts of this series. These aren't just warning signs. They're keys to reclaiming your energy, your freedom, and your ability to love without losing yourself. So, let's begin this journey not with fear, but with the courage to see people not for who they pretend to be, but for who they truly are. Part 2. The Sweet Trap, when charm is a weapon, not a gift. Have you ever met someone who seemed too perfect, too tuned in, too right for you from the very beginning? They remembered every little detail you shared. They flooded you with attention. They liked the same obscure music you did. Suddenly, they were into hiking, just like you, volunteering. They had stories ready. Their admiration felt magnetic. It wasn't just a spark. It was a wildfire. At first, it felt magical, but looking back, maybe it moved too fast. Maybe it felt overwhelming. Maybe, deep down, something didn't feel quite real. This, my friend, is what we call love bombing. And it's not love, it's strategy. You see, psychopaths don't walk into your life with red flags. They walk in with roses. But the Stoics would warn, just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." I'd add, be content to be cautious, even when others call you paranoid. I once knew a woman sharp, accomplished, respected in her field, who fell head over heels for a man who seemed to be everything she dreamed of. He listened. He complimented her relentlessly. He even cried when she told stories of childhood trauma. 6 months in, he proposed a joint investment project. She said yes. 2 weeks later, he vanished. So did her savings. So did her trust in people. What she realized, too late, was this: he hadn't fallen in love with her. He had studied her, memorized her like a role. He didn't care who she really was. He just knew how to perform the part that would win her over. The Stoics teach us not to reject emotions, but to test them. When someone showers you with affection too quickly, when they agree with everything you say, when they move faster than your own instincts pause, ask yourself, is this connection real? Or is it being manufactured to pull me in? There's a difference between someone who resonates with your spirit and someone who mirrors your personality like a chameleon. True connection respects time. True affection accepts disagreement. But charm, when weaponized, has a pattern. It flares bright, then disappears the moment you say no. That's the key test. The Stoics believed you know a person's character not by how they treat you when you please them, but by how they treat you when you disappoint them, when you set a boundary, when you say, that doesn't feel right. If they turn cold, distant, or aggressive the moment you stop feeding their ego, that's not connection, it's control. And if your inner voice whispers, this feels too good to be true, listen, not with fear, but with clarity. Because the first sign you're dealing with a dangerous person isn't their cruelty, it's their calculated charm. And while a Stoic never fears the world, he always watches it with sober eyes. Let us continue walking this path quietly, wisely, and protect the sanctuary of our inner peace from those who would invade it under the disguise of affection. Part 3. The Fog of Words. When lies twist your sense of reality, imagine holding a blue coffee mug, clear as day, and someone across from you, with complete confidence, insists, that's a red teacup. You laugh it off, but they don't budge. It's red. They repeat, and it's not a mug, it's a teacup. You argue. They push back harder. Eventually, you start to question, is it purple? Is the lighting off? Did I misunderstand? This is what psychological manipulation looks like, gaslighting in its most dangerous form. And when you're dealing with someone who has psychopathic traits, lying isn't just a habit, it's their native language. They lie even when it gains them nothing, even when the truth would be simpler. Why? Because it keeps you off balance. It makes them the author of your reality. The Stoics warned against allowing our perception to be shaped by others. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it. That matters. But what if someone is actively working to rewrite your interpretation? That's where the real danger lies. I've known people who were bright, confident, articulate, reduced to second-guessing their own memories because of someone close to them. One woman told me she started recording conversations on her phone not to accuse, but just to remember what was actually said. She wasn't crazy. She was being manipulated. These individuals, often highly intelligent and socially skilled, use subtle distortions to make you feel disoriented. One day, they'll say you're brilliant. The next, they'll call you too emotional. They contradict themselves, then blame you for being confused. And when you finally call them out, they'll twist it around until you're the one apologizing. They may also use a technique the Stoics would call divisive triangulation. That's when they pit you against someone else by sharing different versions of the truth. John said he doesn't trust you. They whisper. Meanwhile, they tell John you're talking behind his back. Suddenly, everyone feels isolated and they become the only person you think you can trust. Sound familiar? The Stoics taught that truth is sacred, and the mind must be protected like a fortress. Once someone starts tampering with your perception of truth, you're no longer thinking clearly, you're surviving in a maze built by someone else. If you find yourself constantly doubting your own thoughts, if you're apologizing for feelings that are completely valid, if you're checking your messages over and over to see what was really said, that's not love. That's psychological erosion. You don't need to rage. You don't need to fight. But you do need to step back, reclaim your clarity, re-anchor yourself in what you know to be true. The Stoics didn't seek control over others. They sought command over themselves, and so must you. When lies distort your world, return to the stillness of your own reason. That's where the truth lives. That's where your freedom begins. Part 4. The Hollow Gaze. When they feel nothing, even as you break. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever cried in front of someone and they just sat there, blank-faced, not confused, not overwhelmed, just empty? No hand reached for yours, no look of concern, just a kind of stillness that felt unnatural. That's not indifference. That's a signal, a quiet but chilling sign that you're dealing with someone who doesn't actually feel what you're feeling, and not because they're overwhelmed or distracted, but because they can't. The Stoics talked a lot about mastering our emotions, but mastery doesn't mean absence. It means control, understanding, proportion. What we're talking about here isn't emotional maturity, it's emotional absence. Psychopaths often lack true empathy, not because they're unaware of your feelings, but because they view your emotions as data. They can label your sadness, they can recognize when you're in pain, and they can even imitate what an empathetic response should look like. But they're not with you in that moment. They're observing it. It's like playing a song for someone who's completely deaf. They might nod along. They might notice that others are crying, but they'll never hear the melody. That's how it feels to be emotionally vulnerable with a person who lacks empathy. You open your heart, and it echoes. A Stoic friend once told me, "Better to walk alone in truth than together in illusion." That phrase never left me, because when you're with someone who lacks emotional depth, you may not feel pain right away, but over time, a quiet, gnawing loneliness begins to grow, even when they're right beside you. They may respond to your grief with irritation. They may mock your vulnerability later, using your deepest stories as ammunition. They may smile at others' misfortunes. They may talk about tragedy with a tone that's mechanical, even bored. And the most painful part, they can't form real emotional bonds. Not truly. They can pretend. They can simulate closeness, but they cannot sustain genuine connection. Because empathy is the root of every meaningful human relationship. Without it, love becomes mimicry, and care becomes a tactic. So how do we respond? With a Stoic heart, not with resentment, but with boundaries. You do not need to fix someone who cannot feel. That's not your burden. But you do need to protect your own emotional integrity, because love, without empathy, becomes self-erasure. If you often feel lonelier with someone than when you're alone, if your deepest pain is met with shallow words or studied expressions, if you sense that your stories are being collected rather than cherished, then it may be time to step back, not in anger, but in wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that includes choosing who gets access to your mind and your heart. Part 5. The Parasite in Disguise. When you're being drained instead of loved, there's a certain kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from working hard. but from being used. You may know the feeling. You start a friendship or a relationship with someone who seems to genuinely need you. They open up. They share their struggles. And you, being the kind person you are, step in. You help. You give. You carry more than your share. And at first, it feels good. You're making a difference in someone's life. But then, it starts to shift. They need more. They ask more. They take more. And no matter how much you give, it never seems to be enough. The Stoics taught us to be of service to help where we can, but they also warned us not to become a tool for someone else's self-indulgence. Psychopaths, narcissists, and others with parasitic tendencies don't just take, they consume, not just money or time, but your emotional bandwidth. They install themselves into your life like a tenant who never plans to pay rent, and they do it with the sweetest of smiles. I remember speaking with a friend, a physician, deeply intelligent and compassionate, who told me about a man she'd fallen for. He was charming, talented, always a little down on his luck. She paid his bills, let him move in, funded his business ideas. He always promised things would change, but they never did. One morning, she came home and he was gone. So was her savings. So was her laptop. And worst of all, so was her trust in her own judgment. What broke her wasn't the money. It was the shame. How could someone so smart fall for this? But that's exactly the trap. These people don't prey on the weak. They prey on the empathetic, the kind, the generous, because they know you'll bend further than others. They know you'll hesitate to say no. And that's exactly how they move in and start taking ownership of your resources, your time, your attention, your emotional space. The Stoics would say, nothing is truly yours unless it is within your control, and that includes how you give your energy. A person with a parasitic mindset doesn't see you as a partner. They see you as a source, a means to their end. And when you stop giving, they don't thank you. They blame you. They say you've changed. You're selfish now, cold, heartless. But they never once stop to ask what it cost you to carry them. If someone consistently drains you, manipulates your compassion, and escalates their needs while minimizing yours, that's not love, that's exploitation. Kindness, when not paired with wisdom, becomes a weakness, but when guided by clarity, it becomes a boundary, and Stoic boundaries are quiet, firm, and life-saving. So ask yourself, are you constantly giving more than you're receiving? Do you feel guilty when you try to pull back? Do they get angry when you ask for space? Do they dismiss your needs while expecting you to meet all of theirs? If so, it's time to pause, not out of anger, not out of fear, but out of respect for yourself and for the energy that is yours to protect. Epictetus said, if you want to be free, learn to say no. Sometimes the most compassionate act is to stop the feeding. Part 6. The chaos they create. When irresponsibility becomes a way of life, let me paint a picture for you. There's someone in your life, maybe a friend, a partner, a family member who always seems to be in the middle of something. Another job lost, another friendship broken, another unfair boss, another toxic ex, another drama they didn't start, but somehow are always in the middle of. And yet, no matter how many fires are burning behind them, they always have the same story. It's not my fault. This is the 6th and final sign you might be dealing with someone dangerous, not just reckless, but chronically irresponsible and entirely blind to the consequences of their own actions. The Stoics held personal responsibility as sacred. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You are responsible for your own soul. No one else can carry it for you. But what happens when you're around someone who refuses to carry their own? That's when you start doing it for them. You make excuses to others. You clean up their messes. You calm down the people they've upset. You pay the fines, fix the damage, apologize on their behalf. You become the janitor of their life, and it's exhausting. Psychopaths and other manipulative personalities often live moment to moment. They chase pleasure, avoid discomfort, and leap from one impulse to the next with little thought for the wreckage they leave behind. They're drawn to novelty, stimulation, and chaos, and they're allergic to routine, structure, and accountability. And worst of all, when things go wrong, it's never their fault. They were fired. The boss was jealous. They cheated. Their partner was too distant. They forgot something important. You're being too sensitive. No matter what happens, they rewrite the story with themselves as the misunderstood hero or the unjustly punished victim. They never learn because in their version of the world, they've never done anything wrong. I once knew a man like this, always moving cities, always trying something new, always falling out with friends or coworkers or landlords, and every time, he told the same story. They were against me. After a while, you realize if everyone is always the problem, maybe it's not everyone. Stoicism teaches us to accept life as it is, but not to carry burdens that don't belong to us. If someone in your life is consistently irresponsible and you find yourself becoming their emotional shock absorber, their fallback plan, their escape hatch, you must ask yourself, am I helping them grow or enabling their stagnation? Am I supporting them or saving them from consequences they need to face? It's not unkind to let someone feel the weight of their own choices. In fact, that may be the most respectful thing you can do for them and for yourself. The Stoic path is one of calm clarity. It does not demand perfection, but it insists on ownership. And if someone refuses to own their mess, their failures, or their pain, they are not walking the same path. You don't have to hate them, but you do have to protect your peace. Remember, a person who refuses to take responsibility will eventually make you responsible for everything. Don't let that happen. Set boundaries. Walk with steady feet. And if their storm threatens your stillness, step out of their weather. Part 7. See it. Leave it. Heal from it. The Stoics' way of walking free. We've now walked through 5 powerful signs. Superficial charm that hides deeper motives, lies and gaslighting that cloud your reality, a chilling lack of empathy, exploitation masked as affection, and reckless irresponsibility wrapped in excuses. Each of these traits is damaging on its own. Together, they form a pattern, a system. And once you see the system for what it is, there's no unseeing it. Now comes the hardest part. What to do with that clarity. You might still be in it. You might have just gotten out. Or maybe, years later, you're still carrying the weight of what someone like this did to your heart, your mind, your spirit. Let me say something that may be difficult, but necessary. You can't fix someone who doesn't think they're broken. You can't teach empathy to someone who's never felt it. You can't love someone into becoming human again, but you can do something else. You can choose yourself, not in a selfish way, in a wise way, in a stoic way, because one of the most sacred responsibilities we have, according to Marcus Aurelius, is the care of the soul entrusted to us. That means protecting your clarity, guarding your emotional space, choosing truth over illusion, even when the illusion feels warm, and sometimes it means walking away, not with rage, not with bitterness, but with a quiet, inner vow: I will not be an instrument of my own destruction any longer. When you leave a toxic dynamic, it doesn't end with escape, it begins with recovery. So here's the Stoic roadmap forward. Acknowledge the harm. Don't sugarcoat it. Speak it plainly. Naming the wound is part of healing it. Forgive yourself for not seeing it sooner. You weren't naive. You were human. You were hopeful. You were trying to love someone who couldn't receive it. Rebuild your boundaries. Learn to say no with compassion. Understand that love without discernment is not a virtue, it's a vulnerability. Reclaim your identity. Toxic people often strip you of your voice, your confidence, your sense of reality. Now is the time to remember who you are outside of them. And finally, stand in your stillness. That's the Stoic way. When others bring chaos, we return to clarity. When the world spins, we anchor. When pain comes, we don't resist, but we don't let it define us either. You don't have to become hard. You just have to become whole. If this message speaks to you, or to someone you love, share it. You never know whose quiet suffering you might interrupt with a moment of truth. And if you found peace, or the start of it, through this journey, subscribe to The Silent Thinker. This is a space for those who are learning not just to survive life's storms, but to step calmly through them with eyes open and soul intact. You are not broken. You are healing, and healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I see clearly now, and I'm walking away.